Good morning, good morning, good morning. My name is David McGard. This is Property Value. I'm here with Christian Lalong.
Good morning.
We're back on the air again in a week. MLK holiday, technical difficulties. Doing our best to show up and get on and read the news for you in South Florida. That's what we're doing here, talking about data in the markets. And I missed talking and reading and understanding what's going on. But what are you going to do?
Sometimes you just got to keep pushing forward. We're having with those technical difficulties, but we got through it. And, we're here, we're back, we're back to stay.
We're one less. Ralph's not here. Ralph Pena, Managing Director of Colliers. He showed up yesterday, but unfortunately, like I said, couldn't get on the air. Technical difficulties with the internet. But yeah, we persevered through, and here we are this morning. It's beautiful out. We got great weather here in Florida. It's the best time of the year. It's crisp. Get to put on a sweater or a light sweater.
Yeah, as much of a sweater as you can put up in Miami.
All right, man. So what do you got? You got what's the 10-year going on with the 10-year?
Right. So just to start off, we got the 10-year here, and it's at 1.828. And that was actually up from the last time that I talked about it, which was at 1.7. And it's kind of expected to end at 1.830, between that and a 1.869. So between one of those two, it's expected to end, according to the Wall Street Journal. Prime rates are still at 3.25 right now. And as well, speaking of prime rates, kind of just lead into my first article here. And this is coming from Globe Street, and it's office investors will bypass primary markets in 2022. So as for why, is because the fourth quarter saw 14.5 million square feet in absorption and an improvement over quarter three's 5.6 million square feet.
Wait, say the title one more time. Sorry.
Sure. It is office investors will bypass.
Office investors.
Yes. Office investors will bypass primary markets in 2022. So, as I was saying, fourth quarter, 14.5 million square feet in absorption. That's up from 5.6 million square feet in quarter three. And
that's macro nationally.
Yeah. And then I'm going to go on a micro level here. But given the massive amount of space given up during 2022, quarter two through quarter two of 2021, office occupancy is still down by 117.8 million square feet in quarter four of 2021. So secondary
compared to quarter four in 2021.
Yeah, compared to 2020 and the absorption rate before that.
So those are the numbers from Q4 2021.
Yeah,
are down year over year.
Yeah, and so CoStar, this source is CoStar, and Corporation notes that secondary markets drove the absorption of office space in the second half of 2021, and that is led by cities such as Atlanta, Austin, San Jose, and Dallas, and Houston, Seattle, and Florida's own Palm Beach, which was at 1.1 million square feet of absorption. So positive.
Those are the positive markets.
Yes, and then
Texas, Florida.
So even Seattle and San Jose, I believe, is in Texas. Nashville is obviously Tennessee, and as well regarding negative and loss of absorption rate, the top 10 were New York, Los Angeles, DC, San Francisco, and Chicago and Boston at a negative absorption rate, and that's ranging from New York going as high as 30 million square feet to the lowest in Boston being negative 5 million square feet.
Well, that makes sense. Those areas weren't open.
Yeah, it's kind of
I think those areas also were hit big with the WeWork
Yeah.
situation.
It's definitely, the more, and we talked about that before in previous episodes where we're noticing investment groups and as well going into places like Tampa, places like West Palm Beach, that they're going into these locations to build them up as new hubs. But as well, to continue to the article, with inflation currently hovering at 7% and construction costs going up to 15%, and a tight labor market with the wage growth of hovering at 4.5%, investors are facing negative real returns. So investors are kind of losing money more than anything right now, but they're losing money now, but in the future they're probably going to be seeing, massive gain. Rents are not likely to rise on pace with inflation in primary major markets such as New York, Chicago, Washington, D.C., and San Francisco.
All markets that are struggling with being open, Omicron now, and
You're correct. And investors are more than likely going to remain on the sidelines in those markets.
cool. Great.
So it's good for Florida that, we're remaining open. We're seeing investors come in. Rates are relatively low, and it's really, that's really what they're kind of focusing on right now. It's just kind of areas that are open, obviously, right? That way they can invest in. And we're, as long as Florida remains open, I think we're going to just continue to be seeing development and investors flood in.
Well, I have a article says Chicago private equity firm opens West Palm Beach office. So this kind of segues from your office. Says a Midwest private equity firm reopened its first, or opened, not reopened, excuse me. I'm going to read that again. A Midwest private equity firm opened its first South Florida location as part of a multi-state expansion. The openings of the New York and the West Palm Beach locations will help support and expand investing activities, and this growth is critical to their efforts to continue to recruit a talented and diverse group to undertake our investment strategy, said Colin Roche, Managing Director of Co-CEO of GTCR. The reason why I brought this up, well, where's my cursor? There you go. Chicago private equity firm opens West Palm. All I hear is private equity coming to Florida, and it makes me smile, right? So I love this last paragraph that says downtown West Palm Beach I can't read today. Downtown West Palm Beach has drawn a number of office expansions and relocations from financial firms as part of a larger migration to the Wall Street of the South. That's what they're calling it.
That's a good title.
The city's Class A office towers. Remember, this is where you reported that Related was buying office towers and what have you. The city's Class A office towers have inked leases with firms such as New York-based Millennium Management, Fulton, Maryland-based New Day USA, and Stamford, Connecticut-based Point72 Asset Management. Northbridge Center was acquired by an affiliate of C3 Asset Management in Irving, Texas. So that last paragraph didn't make any sense, but it's just, West Palm is shining, and they're bringing these, financial institutes down here, and they're not coming to Broward, and they're not coming to Miami. They're relocating in the Wall Street of the South.
That's definitely I really like that title.
It's cool, man.
Yeah.
It's refreshing because I love it because it's, we talk so much about Miami and about, Mayor Suarez bringing cryptocurrency companies here, and then we read about, different tech giants moving into one museum. So they're, you see Silicon Valley migrating to Miami, but when they call the Wall Street of the South, Palm Beach, downtown West Palm, drawing a number of office expansions, relocations. It's great. It's great. What else you got?
So this next article is coming from the Herald. And this is kind of talking about the effects that we've been seeing with rent, that we've been noticing as well with office rent being really high, and highly attendant protests at landlords' office as investment firms increase rent to $650. It's an increase, and
to 1,650.
Right. So
1,650.
Yes, sir. And
for a one bedroom, that doesn't say.
no, so unfortunately, it doesn't say what, like, it doesn't split what the entire apartment building is. It just says that it's a 20-unit apartment building that a Miami-based real estate firm called EcoStone acquired a month ago, and the rent has increased as much as $650 or 65%, and that's going to be effective February 1st, and then that's going to be totaling the rent, as you said, to $1,650.
Which to me, it just sounds like a Class C property. How many units?
20.
Yeah, Class C. It's a 20 units is great because that's you know, when you most new investors look for 2, 3, 4 units. That's under commercial. They can still get an FHA loan. That's like how a breakthrough people investors are looking at it. And then you get to the 10, 15, 20 units, which is a cool little pocket because over like once you go 50 to 200 units, you're bringing in bigger investment groups, more sophisticated buyers. So that pocket in between the sophisticated buyers and the duplex, triplex, quadplex, which is like usually people that are making like $200,000 a year, they can save up some money and buy one of those small properties. A lot of dentists like to buy those properties and invest in that stuff. But that middle pocket, which is where I would like to fall into with a couple friends, is a great place for investors because you can get a return, especially with 20 units, and a tenant can move in and out, and it doesn't affect your vacancy rate. So if you have a duplex, triplex, fourplex, someone moves out, that's a big chunk of your income for that year. So with 20 units, you're able to control turnover, right? So to me, this article is, I don't know how. I mean, an investor is going to go buy a property because he sees rents underneath market, and that's the way that they're going to push the cap rate and the return on their investment. I mean, that's what people are out there looking for. And to tell me that he's only pushing rents to $1,600, $1,650 a month, I would wonder where the rents were for the property. I'm wondering if he's doing any CapEx and why the other. I wonder how long the other landlord owned the place. Were they just an absentee owner? Did they have? Maybe this is in an area where it's highly service oriented. But even, I mean, because me thinking like, oh, maybe they had a hard times on COVID and the restaurants were shut down. But then again, we're talking about Florida and South Florida where we've been open for over a year and a half. So people should be working again. People should be paying rent again. Landlords should be collecting rent. Landlords should be able to pay the bank, their lenders, their equity partners. So, this guy, whoever, I mean, look, the market's frothy, so people are taking advantage of that. And so, brokers are out there knocking on doors every day to talk to owners, to get them owners, no, I don't want to sell. No, I don't want to sell. And finally, okay, the market's super hot. Let's put it on the market. Let's get rid of it. These guys come in, buy it, and up the rents, and now they're going to get. Now these people are going to sue, or what does it say?
They were protesting. They were protesting at their Brickell office, and
the residents were protesting.
Yes, so they were protesting over at their landlord's office of EcoStone, which is based over in Brickell, and really the primary thing that I've been reading in the article is that a lot of these tenants just want to negotiate more than anything the rent, because it looks like EcoStone is just putting it, setting it, and then shutting doors. You either pay it or you don't.
Yeah, because they probably want the people to move out. I mean, look, there's an emotional part of it, and then there's also a business part of it.
Yeah.
Right? There's if they're not trying to evict people, but they went in there, they're upping the leases like they're allowed to do. And if you can't afford to live there, there's other places you can afford. And I'm sure what they're going to do is probably wait for someone to move out, and then they're going to renovate the unit, and then that rent might even go up higher than $1,650 a month. So, I mean, to me, this is like a normal thing. I mean, if it's your family that they're throwing out, yeah, you're going to be way more emotional.
Correct.
Right? You look at it at different lenses. But I mean, it is, if you're going to, it's business.
I think I think what a lot of it has to do as well, more than anything, is that how much notice did they have? Because I think
Okay,
because
I ask you this: how much notice do you need?
I think with Florida law, it's at minimum 2 weeks. I think you need anything. It's 2 weeks
I
notice.
think you're just picking that out of the air.
No, because no, because when I did my realtor's license, that was something that you have to know. You have to know how many notice you have, and I think
But
if
2 weeks is nothing.
I think it's I think it's
Yeah,
two
but my
weeks or
question
15
is, what do
days.
you think is fair?
Mm. If you're getting a brand new owner and you're getting a new landlord, I think a month. I think a month, like
Okay, 30 days.
which is if they got it a month ago and now it's February, so that would be about 2 months acquisition at that point. It's like, you know, you can't really put it up to the landlord at that point.
Look, I'm sure these guys are doing it by the book
Mm-hmm.
because if you are going to go in there and give notices that, hey, look, rent's going up. We're new owners.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to increase the rent, and we'd like everyone to stay,
Mm-hmm.
but we understand that if you can't afford where the price point's going to be, that you're going to have to relocate. There's even new owners that go in and help people relocate,
Right.
and they say, hey, we're going to pay for the moving truck.
Mm-hmm.
Or we're going to pay for this. We're going to pay for that, which is, another way. And we don't know by the article that maybe
No,
these owners did that. The new owners did that, but
unfortunately,
know.
Ecostone didn't talk. They didn't make a comments or anything. And I would say that when I was reading the article, it was very sympathetic towards the tenants in the sense that like when you're reading it, it's like they pick one person and then they're telling you like their whole life story and everything like that. But as you mentioned, it's a business too. There's a heart, and then there's
a lot of people that
business
own
to it.
multifamily are there is slumlords out there. That's where the word comes from. But I
Mhm.
think majority, if you're going to get in the business of shelter, because you're providing shelter for people,
Mhm.
you're going to have some kind of caring and consideration for people,
Exactly.
right? I guarantee you they didn't go in there and just say, you're out tomorrow.
No.
They probably at least gave them 30, and then maybe, but it's just, I don't know, man. I guarantee you that they probably did not figure that they were going to picket or whatever it says in front of their office. I mean, that's
Protest.
it's a little extreme, but I mean, look, man, we evaluate multifamilies every day, and if you're telling me that the landlord's going in there and increasing rents, do I think that this is crazy? I say no. This is this is typical.
Yeah.
This is what investors
If anything,
do.
it's expected.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
looking at just from like a pure number basis, it's like if you're acquiring a new property, why would you not try to maximize profit off it at that point?
No, you'd be, not doing your investors the correct. You need to return on investment is what we're trying to do here. All right, so World Biz Magazine announces Miami-Dade is the best region for investment in 2022. Highly esteemed award granted to select locations offering outstanding advantages for global enterprises. World Biz Magazine, the global C-suite journal for the leaders of international companies, is pleased to announce that Miami-Dade has received the prestigious distinction of Best Region for Investment in 2022. The selections comes after a highly selective process that evaluated 50 cities/regions worldwide to identify those with the most compelling value propositions for companies exploring international investment options. Miami-Dade was selected because of the 5 key reasons. It says business friendly. Business friendliness. Locating in Miami-Dade is a great financial decision. There is no state or local personal income tax. Corporate income tax is low, and businesses can rely on favorable regulatory climate. Number 1. Number 2, gateway to the world. It's great, right? Gateway to the world. Miami is the perfect pivot point to manage operations in both North and Latin America. The South Florida area is home to over 1,400 multinational businesses staffed by skilled and energetic residents speaking 128 languages. There are over 5,200 financial service firms and legal and accounting firms, and comprehensively covering transaction requirements. Miami-Dade is also home to the USA's third largest number of consular corps, foreign trade offices, and binational chambers of commerce. Number 3, yes, I'm advocating for Miami-Dade. I love it. I live here, and sometimes I don't know. Seamless connectivity. Miami-Dade is easily accessible to all areas of the globe, with the region's 3 international airports handling more than 2,000 daily flights. Port Miami, boasting the only Panamax, how you say it? Panamax, ready port south of Virginia, plays a leading role in the global commerce and is the driving force behind $43 billion in economic activity. Miami is also known as the cruise capital of the world. We're gonna have to use this for our reports. Highly skilled and diverse talent. South Florida residents are a part of the Tri-County market of 6.1 million residents and a combined workforce of over 3 million people. They are highly educated. Miami is the top in the USA for percentage growth of adults with graduate degrees and second in the nation for foreign-born residents with advanced degrees. They are Miami is the top in the USA for percentage growth of adults with graduate degrees.
Yeah, that caught my attention too.
Nice, right? I've got mine, graduate degree.
Graduate? No, not yet.
Yeah,
Still under.
undergraduate. There are more than 250,000 college students and 345,000 K through 12 students being trained at award-winning institutions. And a global culture capital. Living the dream is a reality in Miami with endless opportunities for world-class shopping, dining, and entertainment. For adventure and outdoor activities, Miami-Dade offers world-famous beaches and 250 days of sunshine annually. For sports fans, Greater Miami is globally unique. It is the only metro with professional basketball, football, baseball, hockey, soccer, and Formula One team. Greater Miami is a capital for international art and culture. There are also many world-class museums, performing arts and music events, and celebrity chefs crafting haute cuisine. Is that how you say it?
I'm going to let you say that word.
In addition, Miami-Dade's success in attracting major corporations while ensuring a friendly business environment for innovative startups and unparalleled competence of experienced team at Miami-Dade Beacon Council were strong factors in the selection. Man, what a great, extremely proud of our community for this important distinction. Our doors are open to welcome new investments in industries that will help us grow and offer even better opportunities. The mayor of Miami-Dade. I have to do this for Miami-Dade.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, it's really nice to see that, you know, Miami is just like really taking what people love, like all the residents love about Miami, you know, the multiculturalism, the fact that you can just literally talk to anyone and you will hear a brand new story, as well the fact that, you know, like more than anything is that what, like, you know, caught both of our attention is the fact that people are getting higher education here. People are, you know, they're getting their graduate degrees, and I think that's amazing. I think that's super awesome, especially because a lot of people here come from immigrant backgrounds, where a lot of their families left their home country in order for their kids to get something even better. Like, you know, I know with my parents, it was my dad. He left Colombia, came here, and the one thing that he wanted me to get is for me to get my degree. So it's super, super, super awesome to read just all those 5 points coming in.
Well, you picked a career that's not only you're going to have years of education, but you're, you know, I don't know, man. You're at the bottom of the hill for that one, but you know, it's definitely a journey.
Yep.
You're going to go on, and your dad will be very proud.
No, I mean, like it's definitely, you know, like they always say, right? There's always a bigger mountain. You get to the top of one, you look across, and now there's an even bigger one.
It just opens more up.
Mm-hmm. You know, 100%. But really, when you first mentioned that Miami was like top 5 reasons, immediately that came to my head was my MIA, Miami International Airport, and as well the Port of Miami. So because that's what we constantly use for our reports, you know, we use them on Miami International. So Florida being open and Miami being open, seeing that huge influx of traffic, it's kind of if you want international and you want as well a lot of people coming in, it's kind of a no-brainer to come to Miami-Dade. You know,
I think it was weird. I mean, I used to drive by the government cut, and that's where all the cruise ships were lined up. It's where their headquarters or wherever. If you go on and take a cruise ship in Miami-Dade, that's where you go, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when they weren't operating and they weren't there and they were just out in that area where they just, I don't know what it's
Right there on
called.
the port, just
They're
docked.
they're not in the port. They weren't in the port. They
Mm.
were at like other places and not in Miami. It just looked sad in a way, because when
Mhm.
those big boats there, I mean, it's pretty spectacular, and
Mhm.
and shipping people in and out in the cruise lines, whatever. But yeah, Miami is blowing up.
To say the very least.
That's great. That's what's fantastic to be here. Fantastic to talk about it, report
Mhm.
about it, and actually be helping the the job that we do is we work with developers and watch someone take a piece of land and have a vision and get to
Build
play in
upon
that
it.
same game
Mhm.
of helping and helping and impact our city to grow.
Like win-win, you know?
Everything, every submarket. I think you got a hotel.
Yeah, so this is coming from CoStar. It's U.S. hotel performance dip indicate Omicron disruption of business travel demand. So the last time we were talking about hotels, we were saying how well they were doing, and now we're noticing a huge dip.
Yeah, we talked about
45%.
7 days from Christmas to
New
New
Year's.
Year's, and I believe that Key West was like 79 to 80% occupied, and that was the top occupancy across the U.S. And I think the average, the national average, was at like 53% or something like that.
It
What do
was
you got in there?
right. So I got it right here. So U.S. Industry occupancy dipped at 45.4%. It's worthy to note, though, that first week of January,
It's at 45%.
right, it dipped to 45.4% in the week ending on January 8th. It's important to note, though, that that first week of January is normally pretty low anyways. However, it's never been this severe of a dip as well, which was 8 percentage points lower than what is comparable in the week of 2019, but 8% higher than a year ago. So, of course, 2020 being closed, it's higher than that. But when 2019 was obviously everything was open before all the shutdowns, before COVID, it's lower than 2019. The week was held back by weekend occupancy at 43%, which was the lowest since mid-February 2021. Weekend occupancy was much better, though, at 51%. So 50-day was at the 43, weekends was at 51. And to continue.
I mean, weekdays is just business guys traveling. I mean, that's
Right. So as you were mentioning, the Florida Keys were at a high market level occupancy, varied from as high as 79% in the Florida Keys and as low as 28% in rural Maryland. 15 of the
so
of
the
the
high was
79 in the Keys
and the Keys is still number one, and then the low,
was in Maryland, rural Maryland,
which was,
specifically 28%.
man, I don't even, that's in the red. Like, they're not covering their expenses.
Mm-hmm.
That's about like, let's close our doors. No
Man,
one's coming here.
it's just the effects of the pandemic, unfortunately. And of the 15 markets, 9 of them were in Florida. Reported hotel occupancy of 60%, doing of 60% or better, and overall 35 of the 166 STR defined U.S. markets reported higher occupancy than in the same week of 2019, the smallest number of markets to do so in the past 10 weeks. The U.S. total was at 85% from what is comparable of 2019, which was the lowest index since the end of May 2021.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to follow hotel trends, especially, that's great. I mean, the Keys is holding steady. We're doing some work down in the Keys right now. And, it's
Miami's not doing too bad either. Miami is currently at 66% occupancy, which
what do you
seven
mean
more.
not too bad, bro. That's like
Great.
one of the top markets.
Of course, it's great. I mean,
Oh,
that's fantastic.
Not too bad.
But got humble.
Well
Miami a
above
little
the
bit.
national market, national
course.
average.
Yeah, and of course, 4 of the central business districts, so the 4 central business districts being Dallas, LA, Miami, and Tampa, had an occupancy of above 55%, which was led at Dallas with 56%.
Great, man.
Mm-hmm.
So speaking of hotels, I got an article. These guys are somewhat local celebrities. Let's see if I can bring bring it up. Whoops, that's the wrong one. There we go. Where'd it go, David? Here we go. Pharrell, David Grudman, teaming up on a 400-key Bahamas resort, partner's latest hospitality venture to open on Atlantis Paradise Island in 2024. The Real Deal reports Grammy winner Pharrell Williams and hospitality entrepreneur Dave Grudman are ready to test their business relationship in international waters. Says after opening a $200 million hotel in Miami Beach last year, the two are teaming up again to develop an approximately 400-key resort in Atlantis Paradise Island in the Bahamas, CNN reported. Says, dubbed Somewhere Else, the resort is expected to open at the beginning of 2024 and will include several restaurants and bars, as well as bungalows complete with recording studios. A partner with the Rockville Group is leading the design team, which will infuse the resort with aesthetics of tropical modernism. That means cascading pools, psychochrome rooms, and color accents throughout the property. The main building of the resort will be developed from the Beach Tower, the oldest hotel on Atlantis Paradise Island. The pink building was designed by the late Morris Lapidus, who also designed the Fontainebleau Hotel in Miami Beach, where Grubman's Live nightclub has operated since 2008. According to CNN, the project marks the first time Brookfield Properties, which owns Atlantis Paradise Island, has broken from extending the Atlantis branding to a hotel on the property. Williams and Grudman will retain 100% ownership of Somewhere Else's intellectual property and were given carte blanche on how to execute it, according to the publication. Grubman said the resort will emphasize the outdoors and have a mix of fun spaces, quiet ones, noting that there won't be a nightclub on the grounds. The resort pricing will be neither affordable nor ultra high-end, but somewhere in between. We want to do this one differently than what you've used to from Pharrell and I, Grubman told CNN. Grubman and Williams previously partnered on a 266-key, it's called Good Time Hotel in South Beach, which scored a $164 million financing in September. The hotel opened in April of last year, includes 100,000 square feet of public spaces, 45,000 square feet of retail, 30,000 square feet of a restaurant. The hotel brought perhaps too many good times, quickly racking up nearly 30 noise violations, leading to a motion to have the hotel's conditional use permit revoked or modified. Grubman and Williams are also partnered on the very famous and popular restaurant Swan Restaurant, which opened in the Miami Design District 2018. So cool, man. Everything these guys touch is a hit. They're, forced to be reckoned with. The Pharrell, Dave Grudman combination. Look forward to seeing what else these guys do in the future. That's my last article, my friend.
No, that hotel was as well my last one. Just to kind of say something a little bit about your Pharrell article, I think it's super cool that, someone that a lot of people look to for music is also as well going is in the hospitality industry and as well, just a really, really, as you can see, intelligent financial investor.
Yeah, man, whatever Pharrell does,
Mm-hmm.
fire. His style and collabs with a lot of people are always on point.
Mm-hmm.
All right, man, it's time to go to work. Have a great Thursday, Miami. We'll see you tomorrow. We usually don't do Fridays, but since we weren't on this week, we're going to do the on there tomorrow.
Sounds
Chris,
good.
have a great day, bro.
You too. Bye, everybody.